I'm back with my Holy Rollers panel. The next topic. A prominent Catholic newspaper is now calling on the church to allow women to be ordained as priests. Yep. Yes. Calling it an injustice that they cannot be allowed to stand. This is big deal.
I don't think the Catholic Church right now, culturally and politically, is ready for it. Theologically, it's a whole other question. But I don't think right now where the church is, they can handle it. I think maybe married priests will be a first step. Women priests will come after that. But we have a ways to go within our community to get people ready for
And why is that? Is it just pure sexism on the part of the hierarchy? Come on.
There is sexism, and there's a historical basis for what they point to as why we don't have it. But it's going to take a while to get people ready, just educationally, for it, I think.
Let's get the date on the calendar. When might that date be? Because I'd love
Don't
to
hold your breath.
We're going to have a big event.
Right. I mean,
Spoken as a woman minister.
Well, I am, and I have to say, you know, I came out of a similar situation with the Southern Baptists because they don't ordain women, and I remember at age 7 telling my Sunday school teacher I was torn between being a minister or a jet pilot because I wanted to do both. She said, well, a jet pilot would be fine, but a minister, oh, women can't preach.
Really?
So here we have today, women are jet pilots, astronauts. Supreme Court justices and presidential candidates. Get them in a pulpit, oh, honey, forget it.
And it essentially comes back to that question about fundamentalism and interpretation. So in every tradition that is relevant, they're willing to rebrand themselves and reinterpret the tradition to be relevant in the given age. And it's absurd at this point for the church to be this far behind what is clearly a socially so far ahead of the church. It's always following behind us. It's about time for the church to be a little bit ahead of the curve instead of always following behind.
Well, you know, the Jewish conservatives and Orthodox, they still have the women up in the balcony.
Not the conservatives. Everybody but the Orthodox is on board, and I would say the same thing to the Orthodox.
Yeah.
There are actually within my community, within various parts of the Jewish community, there are conversations already amongst the Orthodox of having women become rabbis, but of course it's still not a good thing.
It's just that every religion, no matter how you twist and turn it, has an anti-female bent. Every religion.
Yeah. It certainly historically is in there.
Yeah, it's true. Given how broken the world is and how many capable women are willing to step up.
And wouldn't Jesus would have ordained women, I think.
Please.
But he didn't pick women. The argument is he didn't
That's
pick them to be his disciples. He picked all men. Yeah. They were the first priests.
Unless you think
so now you would say, well, his historical context, he couldn't. Women weren't respected.
Right.
They wouldn't be able to do.
You have to see it in the context. I mean, Jefferson had slaves. He wouldn't have them today.
Right. You have to see
the Catholic Diocese of Milan, listen to this, has created a special exorcism hotline and doubled the number of exorcism practicing priests from 6 to 12. They say this was done to keep up with increased demand for exorcism. My head is spinning just thinking about this.
Yes.
I mean, how common
What's the number? What's the phone number?
How common are exorcisms nowadays?
Why are they?
How common are they? I mean, is it really happening a lot?
It's not happening a lot, but
and
that's the
what
point.
are they for?
People report it a lot.
Yeah.
They think someone's demonically possessed, but usually it's psychological illness, it's bad behavior, it's people off their meds. But you know, they're saying that their parents are calling about their teenagers. You know, the teenagers are acting poorly, so they need to be exorcised. It's a cheapening, really, of what exorcism is supposed to be. I
think we should find every one of the priests that do exorcisms, give them a plane ticket, send them to Washington, and take them to Congress.
Is there anything equivalent in your faith to exorcism?
No. I can't think of anything.
The Baptists, they dunk people in water to baptize them.
They dunk people in water. There's some snake handlers out there, not our folk.
No, definitely not tradition. There's definitely a segment of the tradition that believes in kind of, I wouldn't call it demonic possession, but maybe like soul possession, that a soul, it's not yet in heaven or hell.
All religions have the water thing, the mikveh, the baptism, there's a lot about dipping people into the water.
But you do believe that evil could take over a person to the point where that...
I believe in evil.
Yeah,
there's a lot of evil in the world.
Well, that's what exorcism says. The power of evil is so strong, it can take over a person, and they need to be liberated from that evil.
But Linda Blair? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Well, no, I think that dramatizes it in a way that for the movies, that's a little bit different from what it is.
Okay, I have one more story that's fun. I had to ask you guys about it because this week the Pope joined Twitter.
Yeah, I know.
Now, what about that? He's trying to get a younger demographic to come to the church. A lot of it is about Catholicism today, I realize that. But these two, they get it.
I wanted to know, though, can we...
I'm thrilled.
Can we tweet and ask him about the red shoes and his fashion choices? That's what I wanted to know.
I got a couple of hashtags. What were the ones that you...
I don't know. I mean, I figure Justin Bieber can do it. The Pope should step up.
Or hashtag at Vatican Savior, check out my Xmas sermon. It's going to be outrageous.
Oh, yeah. Or hashtag, are my tweets infallible? That was the one.
But do you think that it degrades the office of the pontiff by tweeting? It's kind of like, what do you think?
The president is tweeting. Michelle Obama is tweeting.
But he's not the pontiff.
Does that degrade the presidency, though?
Right.
I think it's a great opportunity for a man who's seen as removed and out of touch to sit down. I don't think he's tweeting, by the way. I think the people next to him are telling him what to do.
So the
and
fashion
say,
statement stuff's not going in. Is what
I
you're
don't
saying.
think the fashion statement, but I think it's good for him. I think it's good for the church. Yeah, I do.
And what's with the red shoes anyway?
And the
Does
yarmulke.
Gucci, I hear.
What about the
yeah,
yarmulke?
Gucci red shoes.
Yeah, and the yarmulke.
He's a real fashion
Joy, what about the
maven.
yarmulke, little red yarmulke also?
Well, that's always interesting to me that they
Yeah.
dress very much like that's Judeo-Christian. Hello.
Hey, the church
They
hasn't
go
come into the
together.
modern age. You all been saying that.
Yep.
Here it is, and you're critiquing it.
So
You can't win.
we sort of started this conversation with keeping the GOP and the Twinkies and all these people, how they're behind the times, and the church in a certain way, the Catholic Church and other religions are. So how do we get young people to come along so that Pat Robertson could rest his head?
Well, I think actually the social media thing is a big part of it. You know, the Twitter, the Facebook, LinkedIn. We podcast our sermons. You know, it's that idea of making sure that you speak the language that the people are listening to. I'm not saying change your message. I don't think that's what we're saying.
But
We're
do you
saying
think
pitch it.
do you think young people are losing their faith more and more, or gaining? Because there are a lot more atheists than there ever were in the country.
Maybe the atheists are, I don't know if there are more atheists now, but they're out. So like to be an atheist, you come out. Like,
yeah, because you can't say you're an atheist. People turn on you.
It used to be that you couldn't, but now you can. People like Sam Harris and other Christopher Hitchens who came out, they were called the three big guys who talked about atheism and made it really popular. I think there are not more atheists now, but you can just be an atheist.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe in all three of you.
Oh.